From being the most googled men in the world, all the way to being wiped off the face of the internet by almost all main media outlets, the Tate brothers Andrew and Tristan have had one of the most controversial stories of all time. And in spite of the fact that the Tates were often deemed uncancelable, their Google Trends chart would tell another story, with an 81% drop in relevancy. Whilst we are not here today to hate on the Tate brothers, we will make the argument that they were destined to fail from the beginning.
3 strikes in this game. Strike 1 is they try and shut you up and discredit you, which I've just been through. Strike 2 is they try and put you in jail for no reason, and strike 3 is they kill you. And one of my strikes is now gone, and I now firmly believe that they're going to try and kill me because they want me to be quiet and I'm not being quiet. And I have huge amounts of influence, which is what they're scared of.
Before we can come to the conclusion of why the Tate brothers failed exactly, we first need to go on the journey of how they became famous to begin with, and how they manipulated themselves into massive success.
It's a magazine with me on the front being amazing because I'm the best kickboxer in the world. This is a world title, and this means that I am the best kickboxer in the world. Now, because I'm so fucking cool, I actually have 2 world titles at 2 different weights. So while you're best in the world at nothing, you're not even the best in your town at anything, I'm the best in the world twice.
It's 2008, and a young naive 21-year-old Andrew would start his very successful kickboxing career. Throughout his career, he would earn himself an impressive record of 79 wins compared to just 9 losses, alongside being rated #1 fighter across 2 different weight classes. With his fighting career flourishing, Andrew would get casted to a reality TV show called Ultimate Traveler, a show where 6 random people compete for £10,000 by traveling across Indonesia. Throughout the show, Andrew would become notorious for his manipulative and calculated behavior, frequently lying and bending information in order to succeed in challenges.
With only 20,000 rupiah, about £1.20 to last her until tomorrow, Chloe knows that she will struggle to feed herself unless one of the boys helps her out.
How much have you got left again, Andrew? Mr. Traveller of the Week.
He's got loads.
You have got loads, you're just stingy.
No need for name calling, you're not getting money out of me that way, are you?
I just think it would be nice, like, if you offered just to, buy me lunch.
Chloe is unaware that Andrew is hoarding his extra money for next week when he hopes to be travelling with people he gets on with better.
What are you looking for?
I'm trying to my money. I'm trying to think where I had it.
Wanting Chloe to stop asking him for money, Andrew, who also handed in some laundry when he arrived at the hostel last night, decides to pretend that he left a large amount of cash in a pair of jeans.
Tate unfortunately wouldn't last until the end of the show, as he had an eye injury that revealed the truth of why he wears sunglasses indoors.
While asleep, he managed to aggravate an old kickboxing injury, leaving him unable to open his left eye.
Basically, the skin on the outside of my eye is weak for some reason, through contact lens use and through fighting and getting hit. And occasionally in the middle of the night, it tears as my eyes move while I dream. So I woke up at 2 AM in pain and haven't slept since.
Although the show itself wasn't a huge success, it would ultimately play a very important role in Andrew's career, as it would be the first time he could show off his intriguing personality to the world, which would inevitably lead up to him being cast on a mainstream UK TV series known as Big Brother. In the midst of Andrew's acting career kicking off, his older brother Tristan, who shared similar traits and skills to Andrew, would score his first acting gig in a show called Shipwrecked. Tristan would prove to be extremely similar to his younger brother Andrew, as he would make plans to manipulate the other contestants.
On Shipwrecked, 23-year-old kickboxer Tristan became the island's first elected leader.
But you may not enjoy all the hard work that's coming.
Under Tristan's rule, it was all work and no play.
I'll whip him into shape pretty soon, and as much as they won't enjoy my leadership, at the end of it, when everyone's got somewhere to sleep, they'll all be shaking my hand and thanking me.
A sneaky plan.
Tomorrow when the fire goes out, I'm going to purposefully sleep in. I'm always the first one up. I'm going to lay in bed as long as I can until everybody's waking me. Tristan, the fire's gone out. Because it undermines his leadership and makes him look useless. When I get back to camp, actually, I'm going to have a good stomp through it in my boots as well, make sure there are no flames there.
Returning to Big Brother, Andrew would take control and manipulate those around him in order to put himself in the best possible position in the show.
In the Big Brother house, you are in the other house, and you are the others. I'm Andrew Tate, I'm 29 years old, and I'm a 4 times kickboxing world champion. I see myself as smarter than average. I was a chess champion from a very young age, from the age of 3. My biggest tool is that I'm not afraid of anything. I don't need the money, I don't want to be famous, I don't want any of that, so I'm going to be the most emotionally controlled person in the house.
Unfortunately for Andrew, it would only be a matter of 7 days until he'd be kicked off the show, after videos leaked of him beating one of the contestants with a belt. And although Andrew maintained his innocence throughout the drama, a series of misogynistic tweets would not help his case, with the tweets reading, "Every single girl will sleep with you for money, they just have different prices." And, "When a girl's entire night is in her Snapchat story, rest assured, her long life quest for attention has undoubtedly turned her into a hoe." Whilst these tweets would lead to Andrew being labelled as cancelled for the first time, it wouldn't be until the 7th of September the following year when he would post a tweet that would get him suspended from Twitter for the first time, with a tweet reading, "Depression isn't real. You feel sad, you move on. You will always be depressed if your life is depressing. Change it." Andrew's striking take on depression would land him a guest spot in controversial show InfoWars, hosted by Alex Jones. Throughout the episode, Andrew would share his opinion on the legitimacy of depression.
Than others. And I think one of the main reasons why, especially nowadays in the modern world, these celebrities succumb to depression, is because they believe the stigma. They believe the stigma that people are saying I'm propagating is not a harmful stigma. The stigma that is being propagated by people like J.K. Rowling is the harmful stigma. The idea that there is this unbeatable, untreatable, crazy monster that will enter your life and destroy you. If you believe that, you are going to lose.
With Andrew now retiring from fighting, he would shift his focus over to his entrepreneurial ventures. Most notably, his cam girl business, where Andrew would pay his female friends to wear skimpy clothes in front of a webcam, whilst he typed to the men on the other side, trying to extract as much money as possible.
Few things, but women are, once again, I'm not trying to insult anybody, but women, if they find a way to make money, they make enough to make money to pay the bills, and then they go party. Whereas a man goes, oh, we found a way to make money, let's never sleep again and make money forever. So we have a different mentality towards money. That's the first thing. Second thing is we can provide emotional support. It's not easy to be a webcam chick and get no tips, right? So if a girl would log in and no one would send her any money, she'd be upset. But she could come to me, the pimp, and I'd be like, baby, oh, that's because there's a big football game. There's some football game on. It's not your fault. Everyone did shit today. No, I'm lying through my teeth.
Our other girls killed her.
But she feels better. Now she's happy again. Now she'll try again. She'll go back with the renewed courage and she'll make it, right? If she's by herself, she's like, oh, no one likes me, fuck this. And she'll quit.
Entering 2019, Andrew would begin his journey in content creation, posting self-improvement rant videos as well as comedic skits. Throughout this era, Andrew would generally find the most out of left field point and then argue it to the death. This can be seen as discussions about carbonated water, counting with thumbs, and even how sushi has no power.
Here we go. Something terrible's happened. I was at dinner. I sat at a table with a full-grown man at dinner. Full-grown man. He looked normal, looked like a normal dude. And we're going through the menu. What do we want to eat? What do we want to eat? Steak, veal, going through the menu. And he sits there and he says, I think I'll try the sushi. There's no power in sushi. The whole point of food and water, or food and liquids, are the only things you put in your body. Unless you're a fucking freak and you're sticking things places they shouldn't go. Food and water is all you put in your body, and the idea is that you derive power from it. Look at this power. This comes from the food I eat. You're telling me you're gonna get power from sushi? A little piece of floppy fish, some rice in a circle? Fuck is wrong with you? What kind of full-grown adult deliberately, not on accident, deliberately eats sushi? I caught my brother ordering sushi to the house. What the fuck is wrong with people? There's no power in sushi. Now I say this to people and they go, what's your problem with sushi? I just told you, you little bitch, there's no power inside. You're eating food for power, there's no power in sushi. How do you know? Firstly, I am Andrew Tate. Lord of all beasts of the land and fishes in the sea, I know everything. What I say is gospel. So firstly, the fact I said it makes it true.
These clips would be the primary source for Andrew's TikTok success, as people would share the clips without context, misconstruing Andrew's comedic bits into what seemed to be genuine statements. A primary example of this being this CPR clip.
Do know how to administer CPR. However, I will not administer CPR unless you're a hot female. This is the reality. If you're some fat dude and you just had a heart attack and I don't really know you, you're gonna die. I mean, if you're a really good friend, no, not even if you're a friend, if you're my friend, you just can't be a pussy. Well, I had a heart attack. Get the fuck up. Go to hospital later. Have a drink. But if you're some dude I don't know and you need CPR and everyone's looking at me, who knows CPR? Well, me. Help him. No. Why? Because I ain't gay.
Surprisingly at the time, Andrew wasn't actually an overnight success, as he would only gain a few hundred subscribers per month. But even with a small following, Andrew quickly learned how profitable having such a social influence can be. So from here on out, Andrew began forming his master plan to take over the internet and make millions. Andrew would start working on various courses and marketing funnels that would allow him to monetize his small cult-like audience. And whether you like him or not, Andrew is clearly great at marketing, and would further prove this when he would sell the dream of becoming rich online with a course that he would later call Hustlers University, a set of paid courses that would ultimately become Andrew's most lucrative business venture to date. Hustlers University was an online money-focused community that would provide education and coaching to students for the seemingly small price of $49.99 a month. He would sell the course by promoting it as a superior and cheaper alternative to college.
Modern university is the biggest scam in the history of Earth. It suffers from double inflation. Not only every year are there more degrees than there were before, but the price also goes up. Think about it. Scarcity is directly linked to value. Gold has value because it's scarce. If gold was everywhere, it wouldn't have any value. Degrees are everywhere. Every year, millions and millions more appear. They lose their value, and still every year they charge you more and more money. I tell everybody who asks me, Tate, how did you get rich? I said the biggest thank you I have in my life is that I did not go to university. So many people waste their time and money and end up paying off loans for the rest of their life because they simply didn't know what to do. I don't know what to do, so I went to university. I didn't know what to do, so I went to school. It's socially acceptable time wasting, and that's why everyone does it, because it's socially acceptable. So when I tell people don't go to university, you haven't got that time to waste, they say to me, well, what do I do instead? And this is the answer. What you do instead is join my university program. I'm going to teach you everything from start to finish. Everything I've ever learned about business. I've run so many companies, from making money as a professional fighter is running a company. Webcam girls is running a company. Selling clothing, professional sales in other jobs, television advertising, you name it. I've made money that way. And there are some business secrets which are universal across every single method. I have 100 business tips I'm going to teach you, which will allow you to make your own money instantly. Forget studying. You can either go to university and look at books and study and be a geek, or you can learn how to make some money, because they don't teach you that in university. They don't teach you how to make money. Have you ever seen a college professor with an S63 and a McLaren and a Lambo and an Aston Martin standing next to a Porsche? No, you've never seen any of this. I know how to make cash. We're going to cut the garbage, cut the bullshit, no gender studies, no wasting time, straight to the point. How do you make money today?
Whilst the course itself was somewhat mediocre, with information one could find on YouTube for free, there was a level of genius to the marketing methods of which he utilized to make the course extremely successful. One of the money-making methods on Hustlers University was affiliate marketing, and Andrew would propose a referral program for the course itself, allowing students to earn $25 for every time they sell Hustlers University using their unique code. Whilst controversial and frequently labeled as a pyramid scheme, this method of referral marketing would spawn a massive amount of clips being posted to TikTok, propelling Andrew's popularity to the next level, and amassing him over 100,000 monthly students, raking in Andrew over $5 million in a single month. With Andrew's face essentially being everywhere, clips of him would amass over 13 billion views on TikTok alone. But it was only a matter of time before his backlog of clips would run dry, so Andrew needed to think fast of how he could keep up with the virality, and in his search, he would find the perfect way to source newer clips that could capitalize off his success, and that would be with podcasts. Andrew began appearing on several of the top podcasts, such as Your Mum's House, Full Send Podcast, and the PBD Pod. A common trend began arising, where episodes featuring Andrew would become the most viewed episode on the entire podcast's history. Andrew Tate was essentially any influencer's golden ticket to relevancy, since people were so interested in finding out more about the man appearing in their feeds. It wouldn't be long before Andrew would make the logical move into the streaming world, by becoming a guest on some of the largest streamers out there, such as Aiden Ross, SQC, and Hassan Abi. Andrew not only maintained his virility, but would also push it to new limits, and at his peak, he'd become the most googled person in the world, above Kanye West, Putin, and Donald Trump. But with Andrew's massive amount of success came a massive amount of hate, especially revolving around Andrew's misogynistic takes and previous comedic skits that were partially taken out of context. Masses on Twitter began calling for Andrew to become cancelled and censored from social media platforms, in fear of young men becoming, quote, corrupted from his ideologies. To make this even worse, Andrew would go through one of the most brutal exposures ever seen on the internet, as rumors began being spread across the internet that Andrew was kidnapping women in his mansion, and with headlines like, Andrew Tate house raided in Romania on charges of human trafficking after he allegedly kidnapped an American woman, any onlooker would lead to believe that this is factual, when in reality, Andrew maintained his innocence the entire time and was never charged for any of the alleged offences. So it was starting to seem like the statement innocent before proven guilty didn't apply to people the general society doesn't like. Efforts made to censor and cancel Andrew Tate for his Andrew takes would prove to be successful, as he would be sequentially silenced on almost all major social media platforms, as well as online services such as PayPal, Stripe, and Uber. For one of the first times in modern history, the world got to see what happens when you say the wrong things and upset the wrong people. Andrew being wiped off the internet would be one of the scariest events in social media history, even for people who didn't agree with his opinions and ideologies. With Andrew now seemingly having nowhere to go, he had posted a video to Vimeo titled Final Message, a 1 hour long video where Andrew would address his cancellation and to finally address the allegations made against him.
Banning me and deleting me leaves a black hole where they say there'll be another masculine leader. But the men don't listen. The youth of today won't listen to anybody else. That's the reason I'm the most famous man on the planet, because none of these other people have the authority to affect them like I do. It's me or nobody. And I truly believe that me, with reformed messaging, now understanding of my newfound fame, is so much better for the world than nobody. Because nobody just leads to black holes of who knows what. And it can't. I do have a problem with a few things. I have a problem with long format things I've said being taken out of context, taking a small clip from a 2-hour piece of video, then with careful editing, removing of tonality, and changing my intention behind the words, painting me to be a criminal or a bad person when I am not. I do have a problem with false criminal accusations when I do not have a criminal record, and I have never had a criminal record in any country on the planet. I do.
With Andrew still having a massive influence but no platform to post on, he would inevitably score himself a $100 million contract with Rumble, a YouTube alternative that promotes itself as being, quote, immune to cancel culture, unquote. And within weeks, Andrew would gain 800,000 subscribers. And whilst compared to his previous accounts it wasn't much, it would be an incredibly impressive count for a non-mainstream media platform. Even with Andrew being cancelled, his older brother Tristan was still active on social media and would take the reins from Andrew, promoting both of their luxury lifestyles on Instagram. With Elon Musk now owning Twitter, Andrew has hopes of having his ban revoked, so he can make a return to mainstream media.
Continue to buy Twitter, and then once he buys it because you like him, maybe he'll give you his.
Yeah, if I come back on Twitter, back on Twitter, that would be epic. That would be good.
Yeah. Elon, if you're listening to this.
Yeah, we'll see. God has a plan.
With Andrew's only method of accessing a mainstream audience being TV, he would go on a streak of being a guest on TV shows such as Piers Morgan's Uncensored program as well as Tucker Carlson's Night program. And whilst Andrew may not agree or share the same ideologies as the hosts, at this point, any platform is a good platform, especially considering one of the problems that destined Andrew to fall off, and that is the simple problem that the platform he's moved to does not have a huge audience already. So most of the people who still watch him are leftovers from his previous massive following, which essentially means without the discoverability and growth, it's only a matter of time before he fades into irrelevancy.